In 1974, a modest duplex on Chase Street in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, looked like nothing more than an ordinary, working-class home. Jack and Janet Smurl moved in with their 4 young daughters, expecting nothing but a quiet life. They had no idea they were walking into one of the most documented hauntings in American history. The house was old, built in the 1890s, and like most old houses, it creaked and settled. At first, the family dismissed the strange sounds as nothing more than the building adjusting to the seasons. But within a year, the sounds began to change. They stopped feeling random. They started to feel deliberate. It began small, a tapping on the walls at night, footsteps crossing empty rooms upstairs when everyone was accounted for downstairs. The smell of rotting flesh would rise without warning and vanish just as fast, leaving no source, no explanation. Then the house began to move things. Furniture shifted position overnight. Water faucets turned on by themselves, running long after anyone had touched them. Radios and televisions switched channels or turned on at full volume in the dead of night, jolting the family from sleep. Janet Smurl was the first to see something with her own eyes. She woke one night to find a shadow standing at the foot of her bed, not lying flat like a trick of light, but standing, watching. It had no face she could describe, only presence. A weight in the room that pressed against her chest until she could barely breathe. The daughters began reporting their own encounters. One of them woke to find a grotesque, pig-like face, hovering inches from hers in the dark, its breath cold against her skin. Another described being pulled by unseen hands while trying to sleep, her blankets yanked clean off the bed, her body dragged toward the edge of the mattress. Jack Smurl, a proud and skeptical man, refused for years to believe any of it. He told his family they were imagining things, that stress and old pipes could explain it all. That changed the night he was attacked in his own bed. Something unseen climbed on top of him, pinning him down with a force he could not fight. He said later that it felt like drowning, like being held underwater by something that wanted him to understand, completely, that he was not in control of his own house. Word spread through the small town. Neighbors noticed the family growing pale, exhausted, afraid to speak above a whisper in their own home. Doors slammed on their own. Cold spots formed in the middle of summer, patches of air so frigid that breath turned visible. Janet described feeling hands close around her throat while she stood alone in the kitchen. Real hands, real pressure, and no one there to make them. The family turned to their Catholic faith for protection. A priest was brought in to bless the home, sprinkling holy water through every room, praying over every doorway. For a short while, it seemed to work. Then the activity returned, worse than before, as if the house itself had been insulted by the attempt to drive it out. By 1986, desperate and unraveling, the Smurls reached out to paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, the same investigators who had worked cases like Amityville and the Enfield poltergeist. Lorraine Warren, a self-described clairvoyant, walked through the house and said she felt something ancient inside it, something that did not want to be named, something that fed on the family's fear rather than shrinking from it. The Warrens documented terrifying details. A demonic, animal-like face reportedly manifesting on the wall of the girl's bedroom, growling sounds with no earthly source. An overwhelming sense that the entity grew stronger every time the family tried to fight back or pray it away, as though resistance itself was fuel. The case exploded into national attention. Reporters camped outside the house. A book was written. A television movie followed. Skeptics dismissed the whole affair as fabrication or mass hysteria, pointing to inconsistencies in the family's story and questioning the involvement of investigators already known for high-profile, controversial cases. To this day, the Smurl haunting remains one of the most debated hauntings in paranormal history. Believed by many, doubted by others, but never fully explained. What is certain is this: the Smurl family eventually left that house on Chase Street, unwilling to spend one more night beneath its roof. They said the entity never truly let go of them, that even after they left, they carried the memory of those years like a scar that never fully faded. Some houses are haunted by the past. Others, the people who lived there will tell you, are haunted by something that was never human to begin with. Something old, something patient, and something that is still, perhaps, waiting for the next family foolish enough to call that house a home.